What's up, guys? What? Who is this guy, you ask? Hey, my name is Brian Brown, and I'm from the dailydank.com, guys. And we are flipping the script today, guys. I got my good friend Mike Means here from Merlin Public Media, guys, and talking shit. You guys love talking shit. We all love talking shit. And we're going to get down, we're going to get granular, we're going to get to the nuts and bolts. What makes Mike Means tick, what makes the radio thing that app station crazy entrepreneurship that he developed. How did that make, how did that happen? We're going to get into all of it, guys. So please give it up to the wise and mighty Mike Means. How are you, sir?
I'm doing all right, man. How about you? You
Oh,
seem to be
doing
in
good.
a really good mood.
Yeah. For you, I turn it up to 10, sir, every time, every time. Oh man, I'm excited about this. We've been friends for a long time, but I don't think we've ever had this discussion about this. What got you down this road? I know your stage background and all that kind of stuff. How does that play an effect of what you're doing today? Give
Well,
us the whole rundown.
okay. And if I start blabbering too much, just tell me to shut the fuck up. Yeah, it's okay. Um, I worked with two live production and studio production groups. Both went their own ways. I did set up a solo studio. I was doing photography and video and um a bunch of other stuff and the stage lighting, and I got sick, really, really sick. And in the meantime, COVID's hitting and business went to shit. There was nothing. In a single afternoon, I lost 3 months worth of scheduled work at about 4 grand. It just went away. Everyone's shutting down everything. And my lungs are shutting down. So I decided to shut down the studio because I still I can't do the work. We have hopes for a new medical thing coming up that I might be able to do some of it again, but I couldn't do the work, so I shut it down. And I was a
Can we
little
backtrack real quick
go right. Okay,
to hopefully you're comfortable. If you're not comfortable talking about this, just let me know. Can we talk about your diagnosis that you had for a minute at that time? Are you
okay,
comfortable talking
yeah,
about that or yeah?
yeah. I was diagnosed about 4 years ago now with a disease called idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, which basically means that your lungs become crispy, they become stiff, they can't take in oxygen. Um, there's a couple of drugs, and your options are with that diagnosis: either you get a double lung transplant or you die.
Yeah, and that's kind of what they told you, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And
Yeah.
and my lungs are getting worse and worse and worse throughout this whole period. Um, and the radio station, Merlin Public Media, I can do that right here from my desk in my house. I don't have to run around and do anything. It's all right here. It was like two laptops and
Yeah.
uh,
How like so you had that diagnosis before COVID hit, then COVID hit. How did that affect your psyche? I mean, like, going out this and then like you said, all of a sudden business just drops. No one knows what's happening day to day. You got different jokers telling us different stuff. No one knows what's gonna happen. How did that affect you, especially, being with
I
health
was
concerns?
I was uh I was pretty depressed for quite a period of time. And you wake up with a death sentence hanging over your head, and you go to sleep with a death sentence hanging over your head. And you got to do something, to keep that off your mind. And there was the house and the chickens and the gardens and Juanita and all of that. And at a point, it wasn't busy enough to keep me, like a better word, sane.
Yeah.
Um,
Is it
so
safe to say because you are such a creative person and you come from a creative background that you just kind of needed a creative
I
outlet
did.
to kind of yeah, yeah.
No, I did. And and something I could do from the house, which was very important because there's times when, well, like right now, I've got You can't see it. The camera's a piece of shit. I'm working on it. Will you please get back into focus? Come on.
I got to do the
Wow.
weird the hand trick.
Yeah. um, where was I?
Oh, something you could do from home that you were,
Yeah,
that could still allow you to be
and
artistic.
be creative. And I've always loved music, and I putzed around with some friends that had an online radio station, and so I went there and I started looking, and the first incarnation of Merlin Public Media was 24/7 classical music, which uh, wasn't very well received. There's not a lot of us out there, okay? There just isn't. And I mean, when I'm working in the yard, I'm playing chamber music or Renaissance music or Baroque. That's just a lot of what I listen to. And then one day I decided, well, hell, I can do a talk show, just to add some more content. And so I psyched myself into it, and with the help of one of my herbal remedies, and we know what I'm talking about, I was
Oh yeah, we
able
do.
to get through my first interview. And I went back and listened to it, and I'm like, not bad. So the first 4 or 5, I was pretty lit. But well, and you know me, this into the microphone isn't where I'm comfortable.
Yeah,
It's just
definitely.
not.
What
So
did it
I
help at all that it was more of an audio medium than a visual medium? Because
it
I know a
did.
lot of people, yeah, a lot of people don't like being on the other end of the camera,
Right.
but are maybe okay talking into a microphone. Did that
It,
help a little bit?
it helped an awful lot. And I was talking about things that I enjoyed. We had in fact, talking shit was like the last show I brought in. um I did events talk, where I interview people that had upcoming events, the community theater, couple of gay pride events, and whomever would talk to me. Then I started doing bands, which I really enjoyed. um Local bands. I did DJs from DC, and 2 of them actually, who have become
Nice.
very great friends. A band in Colorado that probably the best band name I've ever heard. They're called When Darkness Falls,
Ooh, that is a good name.
which, as a lighting designer,
Yeah.
the band starts when the darkness falls. So
That'd be a good name for a new lighting company.
it
When the
would.
dark, yeah, when the darkness
It,
falls, lighting.
yeah. And I did that, and I was getting, shall we say, negative feedback on the classical music, and lots of it. And I'm like, but I like this shit. And everybody else is like, but that shit sucks. And so one day I moved to it was about a 3-week transition, but I moved over to Live 365. And the great thing about those guys is they pay your licensing fees out of your monthly fee.
Okay, yeah.
So I got um, a station with an exceptional control panel, good programming. I mean, you could program 6, 7 months in advance.
Wow.
You can cut in live very easily. Um, there's an auto DJ system. Should you be live and the signal drops, it just picks up and starts playing from a specified folder. It's a really excellent package. Um, and I set aside a certain amount of money that I would be willing to drop before I pulled. But the big plan was to do the first station, which was music from my era, um, prog, some new wave, symphonic metal, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Heavy into the prog, um, old school electronica, Tangerine Dream, Kraftwerk, that kind of stuff. And it was going really, really pretty good. I started upping the interviews. I introduced Talking Shit with Merlin. And the money I put aside is dwindling. My plan was to have a series of 6 or 7 stations, each focused on a genre and no
Yeah.
commercials. I wanted it to be sponsor driven. Once every couple of hours, be Merlin Public Media presents, jazz all day, sponsored by. And then, a classical, I had a country, I had dance, I had, of course, classical, and all these set up and ready to go. And apparently, of all the things I can do, one of the things I can't do really well is fundraising.
That's a master class within itself, man.
And I never managed to get. I mean, I got some donations. Don't get me wrong, I did get some donations, but I never once got a sponsor. And everything kind of slowed down. And once you see the end of something, your dedication kind of falls away.
Yeah.
And so I set up the end day for March 21st, which was spring equinox this year. And I shut it down. Again, boredom struck, and I picked up Talking Shit with Merlin, which, of all the shows that I did, it was the most popular and the most fun. So I'm carrying that on, and that's the overview of the whole story. There's a lot more things that were going on, and
Yeah.
but that's the Reader's Digest condensed version for people in our age group that remember those books.
Yeah, I like you said something in there. I like that you were saying like music from your generation, like, and it wasn't just like what you were into. You cover like the whole span of your like, so it's real generational. Like everything you were saying could be like anybody who was in that generation would be like,
Yeah,
even the one who listened to, like you said, the weird Rastafarian one guy, and the one guy who listened to it. You're like, hey, we got a channel for you, buddy.
yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah.
And it was, finding the music, because again, I'm one of those weird, if I'm playing your music, you need to get paid. And that's just me.
Yeah.
I spent too much time over the years working with bands who were, they're playing for 3 hours, and each person in the band's walking away with, $50 and a beer. I
Yeah.
mean, these guys aren't making anything. They're really not. And if you like somebody enough to play them, they should get paid. It's
Yeah.
just, I don't know, just that's how I see it. And to do that paperwork on your own, I mean, to sit down and track and pay, ASCAP and BMI
Oh,
and no, man, just no.
yeah. Yeah. Not for the small guy. Definitely.
No,
That's
it's
like a
just
conglomerate.
right. So this is why I went with, Live 365. They're like, you pay us X, and we'll see that they get their bit for your plays. And I'm like, all right, I like this. And they had a couple rules. You can't play an album. You can only play like 3 songs from an artist in an hour.
Kind of makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and there are ways around that. I want to play an album, so I take the album and I make one single 320K MP3 out of the whole album
Working the
and
system.
play it. And I had a thing for a while called Sunday Pseudo Concerts, which would be 3-4 hours, all live tracks from a single band.
Oh,
And
nice.
those were appreciated. And that's some work, because you got to build the playlist and then you got to record it. And then, of course, once it's recorded, because no two albums are recorded the same. You got to kind of go back and do a little tinkering with the sound levels and stuff to make it relatively consistent, at least on audio level. But you know, it gets to be almost second nature after a bit. You know that when you're editing,
Yeah.
sometimes the mind you don't even think about it, and and the hands and the eyes are just doing shit, and you end up with the product and you're done, and it's like okay, it becomes habit, patterns. Um, but I don't know. I liked it. Like I said, had I been able to find some sponsors, I was ready to open 4 or 5 stations. Um, and the thing that I wanted to do more than anything else was uninterrupted for the most part. I mean, yeah, commercials at the quarter hour, commercials at the top of the hour, commercials at the bottom of the hour.
Yeah.
How can you enjoy the music? And it's not what I wanted to give people. I want to give them the music and let them know who and where it was coming from and all that kind of fun stuff. But I didn't want to inundate them with commercials, and hence my attempt at sponsorships. I don't know. Should somebody approach me after this and say, "Hey, man, like, I'd like to sponsor a jazz station. We can talk numbers because it's not expensive. It
Yeah.
really isn't." Um, for the classical station, I was literally asking $100 a month for the sponsor. For the jazz and the country and the blues, and the electronica, $150 a month.
Wow, that's super. And you pretty much would dedicate the channel to that sponsor then, right?
Right,
Like, so, hey, this is brought to you by
right,
AAA. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and it's and it the sponsor gets heard, for lack of a better word, and the people get their music, and everybody is happy. Was the concept. It again, I just apparently lack the knack in getting sponsors.
You know where
Um,
that would be really cool with, might be an avenue, would be offices, whether it be medical, dental, and then say, hey, I could give you your own radio station that, with the music you pick, with, the ads that you want, and then it just is directly to them. And it's not really ads because, hey, you're sitting in Dr. Dennis's favorite chair, but whatever that their
yeah,
ad may be. So yeah, that might be a good revenue. I like that idea.
actually, considered that concept for a little while. I also considered an idea of remote DJing small private parties.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Okay, so you're having a bunch of people over around the pool and you're barbecuing and this and that and the other thing, and tipping back some and maybe smoking a bit and just having fun. And majority of them like jazz, or the majority of them like the blues, or whatever. Okay, hook up your laptop to your stereo system and hand it over to me.
Nice.
And I'm not going to get in the way. I'm not, what I'm saying. It's not some setup taking up space.
Yeah.
It's just kind of happening. And I toyed with that idea for a while, and most people I mentioned to is like, well, that's pretty fucking stupid. And I'm like, I don't think it is.
No, I think there's a place for that. Yeah.
And and literally any place with the US, between the US, the British Isles, and Canada, I was legal. And that's the way the licensing works. I mean, and you go so far as to be able to block IPs in any other country,
Yeah.
so that you're not and that's up to you, because if you don't, well, they're going to start sending you bills. I mean, you go in the control panel and you check off the countries that you don't want to be heard in, and it's what, 3 minutes. um
Yeah.
just like anything else, if you're too stupid to do that, you deserve to pay the bills they throw at you.
Yeah.
But and I listen to, I mean, there's not much music I dislike. Um, I've never been a fan of rap or hip hop, and I've given it a go. I have. Um, the worst music in the history of music, in my opinion, and this will probably cost me friends, is doo wop. Take that shit away from me. But I don't. I don't like it. It just doesn't work for me. I don't. Um, but I guess the thing about growing up with prog is it tends to. God, this camera is really off today. Um, uh, it tends to say something.
Yeah.
Prog tends to make a statement. It's not um like, say, your protest music of the 60s and 70s, but it says something worth saying. It's not, oh, she hates me, I'm gonna go slit my wrist. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
there's a statement of some form in there about life or something. It says something. um and the well, I guess the thing that drew me to Prague was the classical overtones. I mean, you listen to a lot of prog. There's classical themes in there. I mean, there's a lot of it. Um, my first introduction was, I don't know if you've ever heard of it. There's a piece called "Journey to the Center of the Earth" by Rick
Yeah.
Wakeman.
Yeah.
Okay, a full chamber choir, a full symphony orchestra, a rock band, and 9,000 keyboards. Well, not exactly 9,000, but you get the picture. And I went from there. I mean, Rick Wakeman took me to the Straubs, took me to Yes, took me to the rest of the Prague universe. And I went crazy. Now this is also going out to a couple people I know who'll be listening. There's at least one Prague band that I just cannot stand. And people are like, I don't get it. How can you not like Genesis? I'm like, how can you listen to that crap? I mean,
Mm.
it's, but did I play it? I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't have a prog station and not play Genesis. You can't do it.
Yeah. So, this sounds like it comes from like a real, like a place in your heart. Like you love the music, you love the art form. What's the future hold for Merlin Public Media?
Well, for right now, and at least the immediately foreseeable future, it's talking shit with Merlin. Um, at some point in time, I will probably go back and look for sponsors. I'm going to have to fine tune my approach as to you know who I present what to. Contact a particular company, and you'd want to pretty much be able to guess the genre niche they're going to be more interested in.
Yeah.
Um, you know, uh, a car dealership will probably want jazz because that's good background music and good music to sell stuff to, and things like that.
Yeah.
Um, a dispensary probably like something in the psychedelic realm. um, which I mean, I my music collection at this point still astounds me. I mean, I've got about 5 gigs of jazz paid
Oh,
for.
wow. Yeah.
I've got 4.5 gigs of country. Um, I have pushing 10 gigs of classical. Um, I've got some libraries here, and I found some great places to purchase from. When you're working on a budget, there's a thing called a DJ pool, and they carry a lot of more current music than I'm interested in for the most part.
Yeah.
But I did get my not quite 40 hours of Christmas music from them. I would do a a Christmas show every year on, and each incarnation of this, starting like
Yeah, I remember
2 days
seeing those
before
pop up.
Christmas Eve, and running through and that kind of thing. But yeah, I've got, I don't know, terabytes of music sitting here, probably close to 7 terabytes of just music. Um, and music separates us from the animals. I mean, music is, everybody listens to some kind of music. I don't, everybody's got, their thing they listen to. And I may or may not like it, but it's all music, and nothing beats live music. I mean, I miss doing the live shows. I can't even begin to express how much I miss being out there with the light rig doing a live show and interpreting music on the fly. I did my okay, my first heavy metal gig, Lazy Harry's, 4 bands, 3 hours, including turnovers. As a lighting guy, it was great because the sound guys are running around and remiking everything, between bands, and I'm sitting there going, okay, come on. But I did this night of metal, and the promoter comes back to me and says, that was fantastic. Like, do you listen to metal? I'm like, no. Do you like metal? I'm like, no. How the hell did you do that? You were on point all night long. I'm like, really? You want me to tell you how I do my job? Sorry.
Yeah.
That's, it's, ever since I discovered stage lighting, I do this thing. If I listen to music and I close my eyes, I see colors. There's a name for it. I can't remember it, but music to me is color. And this kind of tends to distress the misses because, well, Mike don't dance. I've tried, honest to God, man, I've tried. Um, I got rhythm in my fingers, but that's it.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Some people aren't built to
I
dance.
just,
I'm one of them.
and Juanita loves to dance, and I've tried. Um, and I'll probably try again. And as long as no feet or ankles are broken, no harm done. But that's just not how I react to music. I react to music with color and light, and I don't know. It's give me a stage and lights, and I don't care what you put out there. I can do it. And the only thing I haven't done, and the one remaining wish I had for lighting, was to do full grand opera once. And that, as far as the performing stage goes, it's the height of the art.
That's the top of that's the major league,
Well,
right?
because you're working with sets that are, 20, 25 foot tall, and the stage is 80 foot wide or more. And it's just, you have to not only illuminate or not illuminate, as the case may be, but you're responsible for setting the mood. That's the old saying in theater is, if as a lighting designer you're noticed, you failed. In the theater, you're not supposed to be noticed.
Yeah. Very subtle, right?
Yeah, you're just supposed to accent what's good. There's exceptions like musical theater, where you get to have a lot of fun. And I hate musical theater. I mean, I got a lot of things I don't like, okay? But I do not like musical theater. I do not understand how a bunch of people walking down the street bursting into song and dance is anything like the real world.
Yeah, no.
I mean, it's just I don't get it. But it's It's the most popular theater there is, and okay, fine. But it's not my thing. Um, and I never did play an instrument. Well, high school. I played an instrument in high school. I bought my first computer because I wanted to write non-chromatic electronic music. That's okay. Have I done it? No.
That's how it whole all this all got started from that, huh?
Well, that's how I got into the whole computer thing was, yeah, I
Yeah.
wanted to write non-chromatic music. I wrote a couple of programs in BASIC way back to there was a big thing, what was it called? Um Ambient music was a big thing for a while. Um and all it was supposed to do was fill the ear space. It wasn't supposed to attract your attention. You weren't supposed to follow it. You weren't supposed to hum or sing or dance or anything. It was just supposed to fill the sound space in your head while you're doing other things. And I wrote a couple of programs in BASIC to just do that. It wrote the music on its own. And 3 times out of 10 running the program, I come up with something really good. But if you don't record it right now, it's gone because the random generators that you were using in BASIC back then, you're never going to get that sequence to happen again. So if you don't record it, it's gone. But never went back to that. I would love to see Merlin Public Media come back as a series of radio stations, and I will probably give it a go here. Like I said, sometime in the next couple of months. But for right now, talking shit's a lot of fun. I just had your girl Teresa on the other day.
Yeah, yeah. I heard I heard nothing but great things about it. I can't wait to actually sit down and listen to the whole thing.
There were a couple of comments that I saw on holy shit, do you see that beard?
Oh, because a lot of people are first time seeing you, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Forgot
yeah.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah. None of the dank crew had ever seen me before, so
Yeah, that's funny. Oh, you
and
read the name Merlin.
yeah, well, there was a time when I could grow this in, a year and a half. And that
Not so much anymore, huh?
no, the hair growth is, I used to
Yeah.
almost shave my head every year at the end of January after the bike run and into April. And by next January, when I was doing my jewelry shows, I had long hair again.
Uh,
And this
yeah,
that
older
I'm,
we get, the more it slows down, right?
yeah, this here right now is a 3-year project.
Oh man. Oh, that's cool. Where can everyone find you at? Throw out all your information.
Well, right now, all I have is talking shit with Merlin on Facebook. And just look for talking shit. It's TA. Well, actually, Facebook made me change the name. It's Talkin SHT with Merlin on
Chat.
Facebook.
Talking
Yeah,
chat.
they wouldn't let me use shit, but
Oh,
yet
Facebook.
every video has talking shit with Merlin on it. So I don't know. It's Facebook and it's its own thing, and YouTube doesn't seem to care.
No.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, I have a great time on YouTube. So yeah, you know what? That's why I switched from Facebook. All their rules and regulations. It's hard to maintain any kind of creative art form. You know.
yeah. Well, the only thing Facebook has going for it is it's easier to get attention there than most other places because like
Yeah. True.
everybody's there.
Yeah. All right, sir. I'm going to wrap it up on my end. Anything else you want to share with the millions and millions at home watching right now?
I don't know about millions, and Well, I'll throw this out there. If you're interested in sponsoring Merlin public media stations in any of the genres I've mentioned or ones I have not, um, get a hold of me through Merlin Public Media on Facebook and we'll talk. And because I'd love to get this going up again here. It's a lot of fun. Um, I get to discover new music and you can discover new music and not have to listen to those annoying fucking commercials every 15 minutes, which I hate.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, man. Avoiding all those. You know what, guys? Check him out. Go to the Facebook page. I mean, he can custom make something to your likings, whether it be an office, elevator, whatever, grocery store, whatever it is. Man, this is the way to go. You need that music. You can throw whatever you want your listeners to hear in there. Go check him out, guys. And the price is right, right?
Yeah. All right.
All
Thank you,
right.
Brian.
Oh, no problem. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Appreciate you guys tuning in and dealing with me for once. Hopefully, it was a nice, refreshing change, but we'll get you back to the normally scheduled programming next week, guys. For Mike Means, I'm Brian Brown, and we're both talking shit. We'll see you later, guys.
Okay. Thank you, Brian.